Hey, what's up? Welcome to welcome to
Hey, what's
Quarter
up?
Twins Weekly Review, the podcast with only one question: what have we done? You know what I mean, guys? What have we done? Uh, this is
What
Quarter Twins
have
Weekly
we done?
Review. We are going to be. This is our Barbenheimer special, the biggest event of all of the years of cinema. Might be the last movies we ever see, because the actors and writers are still on strike, and studios are like, well, guess we'll delay movies forever.
Yeah.
So that's happening, but we're talking about the two biggest movies of all time. They've done very well, Barbie and Oppenheimer.
A smash
we're gonna
hit.
we're literally going to spoil everything. One of these things is a real story that actually happened in the world. So, like,
can
there's
look it
not
up.
much to spoil. You probably were taught this subject matter in school, potentially.
It's possible.
It's possible. We read it in a book somewhere. And then Barbie is a movie about Barbie. And we're
The
going to
Barbie.
spoil it, I guess. The Barbie.
Barbie tell all.
Margot Robbie herself. Spoilers ahead. You can avoid those using the handy time codes if I remember to put them in, which sometimes I don't. And sometimes I forget to post an entire episode. But you know what? It's whatever.
Sometimes we're like,
Yeah,
Not this week.
I'll post it. I'll post it today, and so it's whatever. You might
Okay.
have listened to it by the time you listen to this, but probably not.
Yeah,
You'll
who
probably
knows?
just listen to this one.
July 21st. The biggest day of the year. Barbenheimer. Barbie and Oppenheimer release simultaneously in theaters on the Thursday, technically. But the world was buzzing. The box office was humming. And the movies were good.
It's still humming. Yeah, it's popping off. We should
popping
say.
off, if you will.
Absolutely popping off.
Yeah. So I got tickets to go see Barbie first and then Oppenheimer. We go to the theater. It's at the mall. Okay? All right? It
You
is
went to a mall
it
theater.
is
Come
straight up.
on.
But no, it's like the center of this mall is this beautiful
I see.
this theater, right? And the
Yeah,
mall
beautiful.
is like built around it.
I see.
It's the focal point,
Yeah.
if you will.
The
and so-
nucleus.
Nucleus. Yes. So we get there. You know, we got 10 minutes, 15 minutes before the movie starts, you know. Just enough time
yeah.
to get our concessions, get our icy. We do the icy now.
You do the ices, huh?
Yeah, we're into the ices now. So
That's a good choice. It's a
Yeah.
solid choice.
and so we go get the parking situation, okay? We pull up.
You get the
No
parking situation.
There's no parking.
Oh,
Place
no.
is full.
I mean,
Okay?
it's Barbenheimer, dude.
Barbenheimer.
It's the event
Okay.
of the century.
I underestimated the universe. This is my bad.
Yes.
So we get there. There's no parking. We go to the back.
Right.
There's no parking. We go to the
Right.
parking garage. There was parking. We had to go all the way to the very, very top in the very, very upper
The
corner.
very top. Yeah. I know what
And
you mean.
before I get to this the actual parking spot, there was a parking spot that this guy, he's walking to his car, and I stop. I'm like, "Oh, are you getting in your car?" And he was like,
You roll down your window. Hey!
"Yeah." He kind of
Guy!
gives me the little point. He's like, you know, and I'm like, yeah. Give me that spot. And he's like, "Oh, yeah, cool."
Me.
And so he pulls out and he's out, and then I'm like, I'm a back in because this parking lot's full of cars.
Oh, no.
Let me back in.
He does the back in.
And so here I go. I
Oh,
pull up.
no.
I pull up, and I start to go, and then I back up. There's a curb. I didn't go nearly far enough to get like my car backed in. I went like
Yeah.
head first, and then tried to back in, and there's no room. And then there's a car behind me, and there's a car behind them, and there's a car in front of me now, and I'm like sandwiched in between these curbs, and I have to do like a 5-point turn, and I just left. And I was like, I can't do this. I'm too embarrassed. I have to.
This one's not going to fit.
Yeah, I have to abandon the spot. Meanwhile, I'm in the tiny Honda Fit.
I can't fit the Fit in here.
That car will fit anywhere. Okay,
that's why they called it that.
Yeah, exactly.
Honda
and you
Fit
can
anywhere.
Fit everything inside at the same time. You pop those back seats down. It has more room in it than a Forester. Okay.
I don't know about that, but
you'd be surprised.
I've been in that car. I would be surprised.
Yeah. Anyway, so then we go to the parking garage. We go all the way to the top floor, and then we find in the corner what could have been a parking spot. And we parked there. No tickets or anything. It was fine. But
yeah, one of those, like, it kind of looks like a parking spot.
It was a parking spot, maybe for some dumpsters.
Sure.
But there were no dumpsters there, so I put my car there.
There were no dumpsters there.
Yeah. So
yeah. The Honda Fit.
Yeah, exactly.
Fit anywhere.
Exactly. So we go down the stairs. Meanwhile, people are walking through every which way, getting in and out of cars, walking through the whole area, getting to the mall.
All the girls are in, everybody's in pink. And
everyone is dressed up. Pastels and pinks, okay?
Are we getting a picture of your outfit right now?
There's potential. I could recreate
I would love
a picture of that
your outfit.
for you. Yeah. I'm wearing a white button-up with toucans on it and pink shorts that I bought at H&M on clearance for $5, if you can believe it.
Whoa.
What a steal.
This guy. What a steal. If you're going to buy pink shorts, they might as well be $5. You know what I mean?
You're telling me. So I'm ready. And we get in, and we got the Regal Cinema Pass, whatever it's called.
Regal Cinema Pass AMC Subs A-list, but Regal.
Wow, yeah. And so we go to the mobile online order line, right? Mind you, the entire theater is full. The whole lobby is full. Every line, all the way to the back. Everybody's hopping. It's happening. Life is being lived in this building, you guys.
And how close are you to showtime at this point?
We are 10 minutes late, okay, when we get into the theater. We get our icy, we get our popcorn, and we get into the movie. And it's playing the clip where Ken he's like sitting, and he's like, my job is just beach. Like, that's the first thing I heard when I walked into the theater. So we missed like at least 10, 15 minutes of the movie.
Dang, that sucks.
And then we sat down. The theater, everyone is there. Everybody is there. Margot Robbie is there. No. No.
Ryan Gosling is right there. I see him.
Ryan Gosling sat next to me. But no, the theater was full. We watched Barbie. It was a great time. We left the theater. We got dinner, and then we came back for Oppenheimer. Everybody's still here, but now everybody's quiet. Everybody's focused.
Serious.
Everybody's somber. And we go to the 70 millimeter.
Yeah, you do.
IMAX screening of Oppenheimer at 10 p.m.
Let's go.
No previews.
That's right. I heard
we sat in there. 15 minutes later, 10:15, the movie just starts.
Oh my gosh.
And it's time. And then
they're in it.
They played the movie, and it was amazing, and my life changed forever.
It's a long movie. I mean, at 10:15 p.m., you're getting out of there, 3 hours from then.
Yeah. That is the runtime of the film.
That's pretty late.
Yeah.
It's a long time to stay awake.
Yeah, that was my Barbenheimer experience. Okay.
Yeah.
We can get into the specifics, but
yeah, I told you the debacle of me getting into the movie theater, the cash registers.
Yes.
But yeah, packed theater. I went into on Oppenheimer. I saw Oppenheimer first on Saturday. Packed theater. I sat like in where I usually like to sit. Like, I got my ticket pretty early, so I got my center seat. You know, a little bit
front row.
center, but one row up from very center. One row closer to the screen than center. That's where I like to be. And I'm sitting in a row just like all of the like everybody to my left is like girls and they're in like 16 to 18 years of age, all dressed in pink. But this is Oppenheimer, right?
Yeah.
So we watch Oppenheimer first. And then at the end, like the girl next to me, like looked to all of her friends. She was just like, wow, let's go see Barbie now. It was just like, let's go, you know,
It's Barbie time.
like it's Barbie time. In that moment, I was like, man, I wish I was going to see Barbie right now, but I needed to go home. And yeah, my Letterboxd review was just me ranting about how cool it is that this whole thing. I think it's worth noting that the whole Barbenheimer thing, like it had like the studios didn't do any of that. Like it was purely just
Greta
like,
and Margot did buy tickets to go see Oppenheimer.
They did, yes, but Nolan and Killian were like, no, we're not
like,
doing
nah.
that.
There's no need.
Like if the studios had tried to like conjure up this, which studios will be doing this now, like
of
they'll be
course.
trying to conjure up, like get this, try to replicate this phenomenon as they always try to, and it will never.
It will
work.
fail
Because once it feels like once they're trying to market something to you like that, it's like we're not doing that. What this is dumb.
Yeah.
But it was just this weird congruency of just thought and like excitement for like no real reason to be excited for one person to be excited for Barbie and another person to be excited for a movie about J. Robert Oppenheimer and be like, yeah, let's make this a double feature. Like you almost can't get more different films, you know?
Right. And in a way,
just
two very similar films.
Yes. That is true. Strangely, they make a pretty good pairing.
They really do. There's some sort of
do.
weird magical thing
yeah.
happening that has linked these movies together forever.
It's crazy. Like they released on the same day, and that was like the thing that people got initially hooked on. Was like, oh, that's funny, and then it turned into this whole thing. But yeah, it's a beautiful thing to see packed theaters and people just excited, like people my age and younger going to see an R-rated 3-hour biopic about J. Robert Oppenheimer, directed by Christopher Nolan, scored by Ludwig Göransson, and people being like, wow, that was awesome.
Yeah.
And a award-winning, I'm sure, performance from Robert Downey Jr.
And Cillian
Murphy. Absolutely. And then immediately leaving that room and going into the next room and seeing a movie called Barbie, about Barbie, starring some amazing actors, and just having a grand old time, but also like makes you think about things and leaves you with an emotional impact as well. And that's just the beauty of film. You know what I mean?
It's beautiful.
Like you can have art is not limited to people who are like, oh, the world's depressing. And it's also not limited to like, oh, the world is really, really beautiful and fun, but also sad sometimes. And all that. Like it's a beautiful
It's everything.
thing.
Yeah.
It's
Art
everything.
is what you make it.
Yeah. Art is what you make it.
Yeah.
So let's talk about them individually, shall we? Which one do you want to talk about first?
I thought we would do Barbie first.
Barbie first. Let's do it.
Okay. Pull up the Letterboxd reviews.
Pull up the Letterboxd reviews.
I
I was not as enthusiastic as potentially you and many others. I wasn't not like, it's not that I didn't like it. I just wasn't quite at the level as everybody else, I feel like. So
I'll tell you right now, this
what was your experience?
This one has ruminated on me. When I saw it initially, I thought, that was a good movie. I had fun. It made me think, that was good. And then, we go to Twitter, we go to TikTok, and I get this, I started getting all these videos of girls, women, like a big wall of pink text talking about their perspective on the movie and how they thought about the film and how it made them feel and what it made them think about and all this stuff. And all of these things that struck me. I was like, wow, it's so cool that people have individual thoughts and feelings about this movie. Perspectives that I don't have that show me how this movie affected other people. And it was like, wow, this is truly amazing. Like, I love that this medium that I enjoy so much has affected so many people so quickly, so much.
Yeah.
And like, maybe the movie's not for me specifically, but it has a lesson that everybody can learn and everybody can relate to in some way. And that on its own, on the surface level, is truly amazing. So I was happy enough just for that.
For sure.
So it was beautiful to see.
Yeah, and I think I texted you like the number of like quote normal people who like haven't gone to the theater since they were kids, like that I just like I've heard talking about like going to see Barbie and even Oppenheimer. Like these two movies have brought so many people back to the theaters.
Yeah.
Which is awesome just in itself, but for them both to be I think it would be a little bit different if it was like if like Barbie was like the girl movie and the like quote boy movie was like some action movie or whatever that like, and if they both were just like kind of cash grab like if they were like if it was like friggin' Transformers Rise of the Beast and like Trolls World Tour or whatever, you know. It's like it would be a little bit different. But like since these like two movies are like that are two great examples of like artistic ability and like artistic passion, like two directors that love film, and a full cast that love like their craft and everything. Mm-hmm. Or even if it was like an MCU movie, like not to say that those movies aren't well made sometimes, but like
sometimes
it's just really cool that these movies have done so well, and so many people have gone to see them. Mm-hmm. And like movies are still good. So I think a lot of people are like, we can just watch it on TV someday.
Yeah.
But the theater experience, being in a room with a packed theater, guys, it's a thing that matters to some people.
To some people.
Me. I like it.
It was funny because
like the room is packed.
I was excited that the room was full and like there was energy in the theater, you know? Yeah. But then at the same time, like Barbie says, do you ever think about dying or whatever? Do you ever think about death? And someone in the theater, I don't even know. She was like 14 maybe. She's like, I do. And everybody's like, haha, yeah.
Yikes.
And I was like, oh, jeez. Like, everybody get out. I need to watch this alone. I can't do this.
Yeah. So it can definitely be 50-50 with people you're with.
Yeah.
It can be a bad experience for sure. I've had bad.
Right. But like when I saw
mates.
Endgame for the first time, it was perfect. Yeah. People only clapped like once when Captain America picked up the hammer. It was perfect. I was like, oh yes, good. Thank you for not, because like I've seen theater reactions where people are just yelling and screaming
standing
the entire
up
fight, and I'm like, guys, sit down.
Yeah,
you're crazy.
It's insane. I don't
too
like
much.
That sort of thing.
Yeah. Nobody say any words. Just be like, I wanna like if you went to Star Wars: The Last Jedi, right? And Admiral Holdo flies the ship through the thing, and it's silent, and you hear a bunch of people go, "Ooh."
Yeah, right.
I'd be like, please, go away.
Come on. Yeah.
I hate it. But yeah.
But my theater for Barbie was pumped. It's a very funny movie. So there was definitely laughter and stuff, but people were pretty chill. Yeah, I liked it a lot. Ryan Gosling is like my favorite actor, I think. Blade Runner 2049. A really good film. My favorite movie of all time right now.
My second favorite movie of all time right
now. He's amazing, and he's amazing in this movie as Ken. I loved like everything with Margot Robbie and Ryan Gosling and the whole like supporting cast of Barbies and Kens Like it literally I can't even imagine a world where they could make a better version of that stuff. Like I feel like it's as good as it could possibly be. Like it's great.
They nailed it first try.
So like the set design, like they made freaking Barbie world, and it looks like a place you can go. You know,
Right.
It looks incredible. It looks like a theme park almost, because it's like not. It looks like it's like a world, but it's toys. You know, they did such a good job. Everything's toys. All the food is plastic, and the water is plastic. It's like it's great. Or their water, like she goes under the shower head and she's like showering, but there's no actual
There's just
water.
no water.
It's funny, man. All that stuff is great. But yeah, the reason I like, there's like if Oppenheimer is like 100% perfect, Barbie is like 90% perfect, and there's 10% of like the Will Ferrell stuff and the stuff like not even the stuff in the real world. It's just Will Ferrell's character and his goons and their building and the implications of them that I just didn't vibe with, because it's like Barbie and Ken, the whole thing is that they have to go to the quote real world, right? They have to go to the real world because Barbie is like, she's becoming weird Barbie. Like she's experiencing like all of these things that Barbies don't experience, like thoughts of death and depression, and her feet are flat and this sort of thing. And the cellulite joke, which
Amazing joke.
If I'm gonna nitpick, which like everybody knows, I don't like comedy movies that much. Well, it's not that I don't like comedy movies. I don't choose to consume comedy through movies. It's whatever. It's that thing that I say a lot. Because a lot of times in movies, it is like in this one, like they'll have a funny joke about cellulite, and then they'll say it again, and then they'll do the joke again, and then they'll do the joke again, and they'll like they do the cellulite joke like 4 or 5 times.
Yeah.
And it stopped being funny for me. You know, that's very subjective. They do that a lot. Like the beach off joke goes on for a little bit too long for me. Like it's really funny, and then it keeps kind of going. And anyway, so stuff like that. Like just the way that I like comedy to be was like a little bit, wasn't quite vibing with me. But then so they have to go to the real world to find the girl who's playing with Margot Robbie's Barbie form. It's a very interesting world.
I like it.
It's a
fun idea.
How they set up. But they go to the real world Mattel, which is a big building with Mattel on the side of it. And it's a normal building at first, and then they go up to the top floor where Will Ferrell is, and his office is like weird looking, and then it's like rainbow and whatever. And apparently, like I don't have a problem with any of this. This is not my problem. Like it's a magical made up world, so it's like Mattel has created an actual Barbie world where Barbies exist, and the decisions that they make in the real world affect Barbie world, but also vice versa. Like if things are popular in Barbie world, that's what sells well to kids in the real world, you know?
Like the Mojo Dojo Casa House.
The Mojo Dojo Casa House, yes. And so Will Ferrell's character... So my problem with it is, they go to the real world, and people are being real humans. And there's a lot of, like, part of the movie is critiquing the real world and its treatment of women. And so like it has an actual critique to our real world. But then you go into the quote real world Mattel office, and Will Ferrell and his goons are acting just as strangely and cartoonish as the Barbies and Kens of Barbie world. Right? They're saying things and doing things that real people wouldn't do. Like they're chasing Margot Robbie through the office really slowly, and like it's funny, and like the cubicle space is huge, and then there's a hallway with like doors that lead to this alternate dimension and ghosts, and it was like it just really like took me out of it because I wasn't expecting it, because I was like, we're in the real world, but it's this thing that's happening. It was just a whole like, I don't know.
Mattel very clearly has like a portal to another dimension, and Will Ferrell and his goons have lost touch with reality.
Yeah. I don't know. That aspect of the film just like I feel like distracted me. So it was just like it didn't coalesce into a cohesive experience, if I can say that.
Powerful stuff.
Yeah. So that's why it wasn't quite perfect for me.
Yeah.
But at the same time, that's like 10% of the movie, and everything else like is top notch. The moment that I like, people talk about crying in the movie, and they're talking about when the mom, America Ferrera, has her little monologue towards the end.
Yeah.
Where she's talking about what it's like to be a woman and a mom in the real world and all that, which is a very, very powerful monologue.
Absolutely.
But it's the moment for me is when Barbie is experiencing the real world and she's sitting on that bench by the old woman, and like she's just sitting there for a minute and she's just observing like kids playing on a playground and the wind blowing through the trees and this old lady next to her, and she's just like, "You're beautiful." And I was just like, wow, this is amazing.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Like she's experiencing the beauty of life for the first time, and like they're like what makes the world beautiful. I was like, wow.
Yeah.
I can't right now. Yeah, go ahead.
Can I make
That's all I have to say about the movie.
wild and baseless accusation?
Yeah, sure. Against me?
No. Against against the Barbie movie.
Okay. Yes.
Greta Gerwig saw the movie Soul and watched the scene where what's her face, who's living in Joe's body.
Oh yeah.
Watches she watches the little leaf fall off the tree, and she catches it in her hand, and she's like, "Life is worth living." For the first time, like it's the little things.
It's like that.
Yeah. That immediately, that whole scene made me think of that. The whole time I was watching, I was like, "Oh, they stole this." No, I don't actually think that.
Yeah, that's a good. I feel like Soul's a little bit underrated. People didn't.
Oh, that movie is so good.
It's because they dumped it on Disney Plus and they didn't release it in theaters, and nobody saw it. So
nobody goes to the theater.
Whatever. It's true.
Very good movie.
My other thing was I was really hype for Ryan Gosling's song, and then it happened, and I was like, that didn't really do it for me, man. I was just it was a little bit disappointing. Like, I like his, I love his character arc, and let's just be upfront about the fact that like we're not the Ben Shapiros of the world that are out there freaking burning Barbies and being like, this movie is a crusade against men and it hates men and it's feminism propaganda that wants to.
It's a very positive message for men too.
It wants to kill everybody. Let's set the record straight, guys. This movie has a very positive message towards men, and it for everybody. Okay, like it literally it highlights some things that men do sometimes that are bad, and those things happen. So like. Why are you mad about it?
Yeah.
Do you do those things? You should probably stop doing those things if you do. If you don't, cool. Like it's fine.
Right.
It's not saying you are bad. It's saying people who do bad things are bad. Anyway, Ken's character arc is great because he lives in a world that is. You know, it's run by women, right?
Right.
Like it's Barbie world, and he's just Ken, which is the whole thing. When girls play with Barbies, and Ken is generally an accessory is his character arc. Like he feels like he's just an accessory to Barbie,
just Ken.
And his life, he's just Ken. His life revolves around him being noticed by Barbie or whatever. And so he goes to the real world and he discovers the patriarchy, and he's like, wow. Immediately, yeah. It's like, men have so much power here.
I don't know what's going on. I just feel respected.
Yes.
Validated.
Yes. I loved, all that stuff where he was like, she asked me for the time. Like, she respected me. It's like, do you have the time?
No.
Like, no. And he's obsessed with like, this version of masculinity that's like cowboys riding horses.
Right.
And so he thinks horses are just like the most masculine patriarchy thing to ever have. So he goes back to Barbie world, and he's like, being a man is drinking brewski beers with your bros on the beach playing volleyball and riding your horse to your house where you wear cool clothes and play pool.
Mm-hmm.
all this sort of stuff. And I love there's a Zack Snyder's Justice League reference. And they're like, the Kens have turned into people obsessed with Zack Snyder's Justice League, which was very funny to me.
Yeah.
Terminally online people. And which Graphic makes an appearance. He's one of the supporting Kens, which
one
is
of the
very
main
funny.
side Kens.
He's sitting with his Barbie watching The Godfather, and they're talking about how to distract these men, and it's like, oh, just ask him what The Godfather is about. Yeah,
tell him you haven't seen.
You haven't seen The Godfather? Can you explain it to me?
Yeah,
and they're like, you haven't seen The Godfather? I loved all that stuff, and when they're singing that song on the beach or whatever, that's all great stuff.
Yeah,
but then it's like his character arc is. Barbie essentially teaches him that his worth is not. He's laughing over here.
Sorry, I don't know if you can hear that.
I can't hear her.
Oh,
I wish I could.
Okay,
she should join the podcast.
She is asleep.
Oh,
but she's making some noises.
Oh, that's funny. We'll cut that out so she's not embarrassed. Yeah, Ken's character arc is like Barbie teaches him that a lot of the message towards boys is like your worth is measured by your like power through success, through sports or achievement, like just work, like being a powerful man, like making lots of money,
the provider and
this sort of thing. And she essentially teaches him that he's, it's not what you do or what you have. It's like who you are and whatever.
And whatever.
You might be able to, you might explain that better than me. And I liked all of that. I started saying that because I didn't like the song. Because I didn't like the song because it happens before his character arc is concluded. And like usually in like musicals, you'll have like the song, and then there's like a reprise,
yeah,
where it's like so if I were writing it, like that the song "I'm Just Ken," where he's like he's still in the mindset of like the patriarchy and like this is awesome and I'm just Ken, and then he learns that
he's Knuff.
He's Knuff, and then he really needed a reprise where he's like. Where the phrase, like, I'm just Ken, like, I am Knuff. I'm just Ken, and that's okay, and whatever.
Right. Or,
and whatever.
I am Ken.
I am Ken. Yeah, I don't know. It just did. I was like, oh, I really wanted more from the musical.
It kind of felt like
part of it.
Like they had his resolution, and then they threw him to the side, and they're like, okay, Barbie now.
Yeah. Which is, it's Barbie's movie, so it's fine.
True. So true.
So true.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I've talked far too long about that.
Well, it's good. No, you were talking good.
Talking good.
You were talking good, making good word.
Making good word, do good stuff.
Mm-hmm. Happy times, good things.
Happy times, do good stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, let's talk about the best movie ever made.
Yeah. Okay. So, we watch Oppenheimer. Right, and this is I don't know how to explain it, you guys, but I wrote it all down.
Oh, good.
So,
read verbatim.
I genuinely might.
I wouldn't blame you.
Basically, so I don't know anything about Oppenheimer. I mean, I know like he's the father of atomic bomb. He tried to poison allegedly tried to kill his student aide with an apple.
He takes it back.
He had an affair with Kitty.
He sure did, with Florence Pugh. Yeah, for sure.
2 times. Ayo. And
probably more than that. He also had an affair with that older woman, apparently.
Yeah. Apparently. He was a bit of a playboy, if you will.
A little bit. All while creating the atomic bomb, which is like
just on the side.
Like, how do you even
without security clearance for most of that time.
Yeah.
He's a cool guy. He's a great guy. With strong
allegedly
leftist values, which we love.
Sure. We all love it here. We all love that.
I'm a big fan, personally, at least.
Welcome to Quarter Twins Weekly Review. The podcast is only one question, really strong leftist-leaning values.
Yep, really strong.
Yeah, that's us.
Loving that. Let's seize the means of production. So I'm sitting in the movie. You didn't hear that from me.
We're in the patriarchy, for sure.
Let's do that. I'm okay with that.
I don't want to be a patriarch. I cook and clean every day.
Heck yeah, bro.
Just doing my part.
Do it. Just doing what I can for the people that I love.
That's right. That's right. Yep.
So here's what I want to say about Oppenheimer, okay?
Okay. I'm ready for it.
I'm watching the movie and like obviously the music is good and the performance is good and you know the plot is good and the script is good. Everything is great, right?
Sure.
The literal everything that makes a movie in this movie is good.
It's so movie. It is so movie.
You're watching it and maybe like your personal experience of like watching the plot unfold and like how everything is done may not be perfect for you. You may not love it. It may not like the story of how Oppenheimer made the atomic bomb might not be like, wow, I love the story that was told, right? And so like I'm watching this movie and like, okay, I get that this is like an important thing that happened and like it's, you know, in terms of history, like one of the most historically impactful events, right?
Probably, yeah. Definitely one of the most.
Top 5. If we're making a tier list of the most impactful events in history, it's S tier.
Yeah.
It's not like a thrilling thing for me. I wasn't like excited about the story of Oppenheimer, right? His life. I was excited for Christopher Nolan's next movie starring Cillian Murphy.
Let's go.
And I was like, yes, let's do that. Where's Tom Hardy? He did not make an appearance, but that's
he did not appear.
So I watched Mad Max a couple days later, so I could get my Tom Hardy in. But all he did was grunt. So didn't love. I mean,
that's movie. That's one of like people say it's one of the best action movies ever made.
I mean, it was fun.
So
yeah, it was fun.
Yeah.
Anyway. I was just excited to be a part of the movie and like witness the movie and think about how it was made and you know all the structure of stuff because that's how
70 millimeter IMAX, man. You're seeing that for the first time.
I'm excited to like absorb it rather than like think about the complex moral questions of creating the bomb and like all that stuff.
Yeah.
That stuff is for the second viewing, which I have
Moral
scheduled
quandaries.
Saturday. I'm going to watch Barbie and Oppenheimer again.
Again, together.
I'm going to do a double feature again. So I'm excited about that.
Madman.
Yeah, I'm super hyped.
Madman.
But I'm sitting there thinking, okay, I'm watching the first. It's like kind of like the classic 3-act deal, right? There's like the beginning of Oppenheimer's life. It reminded me, it's like super fast. I don't know if you were feeling the pace that the movie was setting.
Oh my gosh, so fast.
But we were zooming. There, like, I remember sitting there and I was like, have they stopped talking? Like,
no.
People have been talking like for an hour.
The entire time.
And
also, I think music might be playing the entire time.
Yeah. It was awesome.
For 3 hours.
It was so...
And that's pretty classic Nolan. Like he has a pretty like usually the stereotypical like auteur director is like long takes, like long shots, like doesn't have very like that's what people think of when they think of like pretentious quote pretentious movie making. But Chris Nolan is always like he cuts quick.
Yeah.
All of like the Dark Knight movies, the editing is possibly, in my opinion, to a fault, very quick, especially in the action scenes.
Yeah.
Also with Tenet, I think to a fault in some of the action scenes. Yeah, I mean from the rip, it's just nonstop.
Yeah.
For a movie, which I think works Sorry, you keep going. You keep going.
Okay, yeah. So I was just saying, like, it reminded me of a movie called Theory of Everything, which is the Stephen Hawking biopic, which is apparently wildly inaccurate, according to Stephen Hawking and his wife, late wife. I'm not sure. And then we go to Los Alamos in New Mexico, where he combined physics and New Mexico, his two loves, which is so fun for him.
So fun for him.
So fun for Oppie. We love that for him.
He gets to ride his horse around and
Yeah.
hang out with Emily Blunt.
Right. And so now we're watching Imitation Game or Operation Mincemeat, right? So we're getting the classic wartime movies about a secret mission, about this
We
thing.
gotta get this done.
With military is all in their back about the secrets and the compartmentalization. It's very similar kind of structured deal going. Those are also great movies, by the way. You should watch them. I think they're both on Netflix right now.
I don't have Netflix anymore.
And then
Netflix kicked me off my parents' account, so
oh no, I still live with my parents, so
and I'm not getting an account because I know that's what they want me to do, and I'm out of spite. I'm not going to do it.
Yeah,
so
scary stuff. And then we get to the third act, the last hour, best hour. We're getting the trial / hearing / security clearance confirmation meeting. Neither one of them are actual trials, but there's like lawyer questioning, like it's like a thing, right? And we're getting
it's a whole thing.
Yeah, and it's giving A Few Good Men. Okay,
it is giving A Few Good Men.
Right. So
you can't handle the truth.
Exactly. That's what I was going for.
Yeah. A lot of that sort of thing. Yeah.
Yeah. Rami Malek is like, "Hey, what's up, guys? I thought I'd drop in and hit you guys with the best performance." There should be an Oscar for best performance with less than 20 seconds of screen time.
Yeah.
Like, there's so many good actors in this movie that barely get anything to do, and they are all giving it 110.
They are.
Josh Peck hovering his hand over the button. Amazing.
Yeah. I didn't expect gosh, what's his name? The guy
Roderick Rules.
The guy who plays
Jack Quaid.
I can't remember anybody's name. Jack Quaid is in there. The guy who plays Niels Bohr, that guy. I didn't expect
Kenneth Branagh.
Kenneth Branagh. I didn't know he was in it. I didn't know Casey Affleck appears and he's terrifying.
Yeah.
I'm like, dude, this guy sucks. But he's an amazing actor.
Dude, Gary Oldman.
Gary Oldman is in it. I did not know he was going to be in it. Yeah, he had a funny role. Just being like, wow, this guy sucks.
He's great.
Anyway, continue.
Yeah, so it was just fun to like
the third act, the best.
It was like a bunch of different really good movies that I like put together in one cohesive movie, and it never felt like it never felt like it was 3 hours long. Like the first half was really fast, and then we get this nice build in the middle, and then it speeds up again through this like horror film sequence into the trial and like staring into Cillian Murphy's crystal eyeballs. It was great. It was perfect.
It is amazing.
I loved it so much.
Yeah, that's what I was saying about the editing. Like, I think like it's a 3 hour movie, but the editing is brilliant in this case, where it makes you feel like there's not a second wasted. Like every second something important is happening, so you never get to take a mental break and like even think about your phone or think about the time because it's just popping.
Yeah,
one after the other. It's opping. It's oppie over here. I definitely loved it. I feel like it was different than I expected. It's a Nolan film, so but this is his first biopic and his first true story, so I didn't know if he would do the usual like messing with time or the timeline or like that.
He did jump back and forth in time. Yeah, but not like a continuity thing.
On first viewing, like it was initially well, I think it was just hard for me it was challenging to keep up with which what part of Oppenheimer's life am I looking at right now? Am I looking at his life from when he was a young guy in school, from the Manhattan Project days, or the days after? Like they do some like makeup to make him look older or younger.
Yeah.
But especially like the younger stuff, it was really hard for me to like figure out like what time period are we in right now?
Right.
But
I measured
you
it
kind
by
of
the
catch
length of
on
his
and-
hair.
That's a good point. His hair gets shorter as time goes. Yeah, I knew that people were talking up Robert Downey Jr.'s performance, and I was like, okay, it can't be this good.
Yeah.
Like people are like, it's his best performance ever. He's gonna get an Oscar or whatever. Like to me, like because I didn't know the character I was playing, I didn't know any of his story.
I never knew anything about Strauss.
In the trailer, it looked like, from the shots we see of him in the trailers, it looked like he was like a lawyer or something, and just in the courthouse scene at the end. So that's what I expect him to be. But the movie is really like, it's about Oppenheimer and this guy, Louis Strauss. Like it's about these two guys, especially at the third act. It becomes
all
about them.
It was always Strauss.
Yes, because I think, and I figured out like, well, when they were promoting the movie, they said that like there are parts of the movie that are in color and parts of the movies that are in black and white, and they told us that the stuff in color was like you're inside Oppenheimer's mind essentially. It's not necessarily 100% factual, subjective, and black and white is objective. But the way he uses it is also like the black and white scenes are always from Louis Strauss's perspective. Like we get the scene where Oppenheimer is talking to Einstein at the pond, and Strauss doesn't hear what they say, but when Einstein walks by him, he doesn't make eye contact, and this is what Strauss kind of obsesses over throughout
for the rest of his
life since that happened. For the rest of his life. Like, what did he say to Einstein? And we see that scene from different perspectives, like in black and white. We're far away. We can't hear what they're saying because we're at Strauss's perspective. And at the end, we finally get to hear what what he actually said to him.
And what a conversation it was.
I know. Like, we see that conversation at the beginning of the movie. And I was like, oh, that's interesting. I wonder what he said to him. And then I kind of forgot about it for the rest of the movie. And then we kind of get reminded of it again. And I was like, oh, yeah, they're bringing us back to this. Like, that's interesting. And then they bring it at the very end. I was like, oh, my gosh.
Here we are.
Because it happens, and he says the thing, and I'm like, whoa. Wow. It ended up, like that conversation, the story, it's the linchpin of the entire story of, like,
it makes the whole movie.
Like, Strauss's motivations are from, like, this, or partly because of this conversation that, like, just he obsesses over, and it builds his ego. Like, he thinks the world revolves around him and whatever, and he wants to be like, he wants to beat Oppenheimer, so he sets up this elaborate scheme to take him down and all this stuff. And the conversation that they have is just like remember when we figured out that equation that we had 99% chance that if we ignite the bomb that we'll destroy the world. And Einstein is like, yeah, I remember that day well. And Oppenheimer was like, I think we did. I was like, whoa. It's
a
my
metaphor, you guys.
It's a metaphor, guys.
He's speaking in metaphors.
Because then the movie ends and you're reminded, oh, this happened, and this is the world I live in, and it sucks.
There are nukes.
And we're doomed.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Well, crap.
But all that to say, I agree with you that the third act is it's my favorite part of the movie, because usually, like, biopics would have just ended at the 2-hour mark, and then you get those, like, that text crawl where it's like, after this point, Oppenheimer went to this court proceeding, and Louis Strauss ended up being disgraced because he was exposed for whatever. But this movie is like, actually, we're going to show you that in great detail, and it's going to be awesome.
Yeah,
we're going to have an entire hour
test. Honestly, it could have. They'd be like, let's do this bomb, and then like the end of the movie is them taking the two bombs, like driving off with them on the trucks. They could have ended the movie there, and then like it'd be this like ambiguous, like, oh my gosh, what have we done? You know?
Yeah.
But then they're like, let's do an entire extra hour and show you all the aftermath from Oppenheimer's viewpoint. This is something a lot of people have brought up, is that there's no like we never see Japan. There's no perspective of the bombs going off or anything. I think the point of that is that the people who made the bomb are so far removed from the actual war that it's not even something they think about until they see the slideshow, and they see right. They do have a scene in the movie where they don't show the viewers, but the characters see the slideshow of images of like burn victims and the aftermath of the explosions. And I mean, Oppenheimer can't even look, right? Yeah. It's so horrific.
What does that do to a person, you know?
Yeah. He did that, you know?
And it's like the scene where they're deciding where to drop the bombs, and I don't remember who the guy is who's
like Secretary of Defense or something, right?
Secretary of Defense, who's like, we could drop it on Kyoto, but my wife and I honeymoon there, and it's very beautiful, so we won't do it there. It's like that's like Oppenheimer is
crazy.
It's crazy, and even because it's the whole moral quandary of it is like yes, we can win this war by doing this, but at what cost? And like somebody has to make a decision of like who they have so much power to decide who lives and who dies, you know? And they're just like, I like that place. We'll just
sounds good.
I'll drop it on Nagasaki instead.
Yeah.
It's insane. Not that we should have dropped it anywhere, but like it's just it's interesting. It shows you like the people who made the bomb, like generally, like they care a little bit more. Like they're like, and they show you that in the conversation with President Truman, where like Oppenheimer's like, he's like I feel like I've doomed the world, and like we shouldn't have done this. And Truman's like, listen, man, you didn't drop the bomb. I dropped the bomb, and like. The politics of it is like politics of it says like it doesn't matter who dies, we won the war, like, and that's good, I guess, is what they think, but they don't they can't actually stop and think about the implications, or because it's also like the whole I can't imagine actually being in that situation where it's like America, we're not the only ones trying to build this bomb. Everybody else is also trying to build these bombs. And so if we don't get to it first, they're going to use it on us probably.
Right.
So shouldn't we build it to defend ourselves? But also, if we do, that's not good probably. Nobody should be doing this, but it's already happening, and we're already screwed. So it's a bummer for sure.
Well, it's like way at the beginning of the movie, they get like I don't know if it's a newspaper, a newsletter or something. One of the students at the college comes up to Oppenheimer and the other professor, and he's like, they did it in Russia. They split the atom, and it like they replicate the experiment. And they see that it does 2 neutrons, right? Yeah. And they're like, oh, chain reaction. Immediately, their first thing they think is like, it's a bomb.
We can build a bomb. Let's do it. Let's go.
And they're like, it's over. It's done. Like, at that point, international summit, everybody bans this science from ever happening. That's the only way to prevent this from getting to like nuclear crisis. Everybody has nukes. It's like, we just have to ban this. We cannot do this. Put it in the Geneva Convention. It's done. Yeah. But they're like, no, Russia did it. They're going to build a bomb. We have to build a bomb. Even if they're not, we have to build it anyway because they might be.
Yeah.
And they're thinking the same thing, so that we're both going to build a bomb. And then we both actually have bombs, and then we're going to use the bombs.
And now
the world is screwed. Yeah. And now everybody has bombs, and we're screwed.
And now we just have all these bombs. And
They're everywhere.
We're just sitting on them. They're everywhere. We have so many of them. Like, can we stop making those, please?
Yeah. Why are we still making more? Like,
and I had this.
We
like,
already have enough to destroy Earth.
Yeah, we're not using them. We don't need them. I had this moment driving home where it's like, I know that it's more nuanced than just like the president can't just push a button and send a nuke somewhere. Like it's like there's chains of command that have to happen before we can send a nuke somewhere. But at the same time, like guys, we are putting people in office that have control of these like weapons. Like all other issues aside, nuclear weapons we have, and we're just electing whoever. Like we're putting Donald Trump, okay? We're putting him in charge of these weapons. Like we're putting anybody in charge of them is insane. Like we shouldn't have them in the first place. That's the most scary thing about it. Is like
they
no
exist and they're
human
real.
should ever have this many, if any, of these bombs, but we have lots.
We got so many.
We have a stockpile, even probably.
Oh yeah,
and aliens are real, so that's great. According to
did you see
that one guy?
Did you see the picture? One of the pictures they released, and it's like literally Michael Shannon's ship from The Man of Steel.
Yeah.
Like
aliens have come to
I
Earth.
don't think that's real, you guys.
You are not alone, he says. Yeah, the real world is not as fun as Barbie Land, and that's what I learned.
Gosh darn it.
Gosh darn it.
We need to play with our toys better so that they can live fulfilling lives.
Yeah. I did think like I think they're a good pairing, Oppenheimer and Barbie, because Oppenheimer kind of puts like it kind of shows you humanity's worst. Like it's like this we were at our worst. Like we created the thing that could destroy everything.
Right.
And we did it. We just kind of did it on a whim. They were just like the 99%
literally
thing. They
as
were like,
soon as it was discovered.
Yeah, they did it as soon as possible, as fast as possible, with even a 1% chance of we detonate this one bomb and it's all over. You know,
right.
This is in the 1940s, guys, and they had the opportunity to. They were like, oh, it could destroy the entire world.
Let's test it.
Let's do it.
Yeah.
It's like this is one of the worst things we've ever done, but at the same time, like you can watch Barbie and like Barbie, you can go outside and sit on a bench and observe beauty in the world. And and you have, more personal, because like I'm not personally conflicted every day about the nuclear bombs, but I am like personally like conflicted every day about just normal everyday things. And I have normal everyday emotions, and you can experience beauty in ordinary things, and like life on an individual level means something, and like there's beauty in that, while also there's also nuclear bombs. But
there is also nukes.
A double-edged
why don't you?
coin, as I say.
The double-edged coin. Sharp on both sides.
Since we did did you have anything else you wanted to say?
I think
should
good.
cut you off.
We're good.
Since we have a double feature on our hand, it lends itself to my famous game that we play, where I have 1-star reviews and 5-star reviews of Oppenheimer and Barbie. So I'm going to give you a 1-star review or a 5-star review, and you have to guess which one's from, okay?
Okay, all right. Fun times.
This is a 1-star review. It says, "Girl, whatever." Did you hear that? 1-star review. Girl, whatever.
Girl, whatever.
Girl, whatever. That's how I would say it.
Is this a trick question?
It could be.
It's Oppenheimer.
It is Oppenheimer, yeah.
See? Can't trick
Girl,
me.
whatever.
What does that even mean?
I don't know. I just thought it was funny. Girl, whatever. What do you mean? This one's obvious, but I thought it was funny. He says, this is a 1-star review. I actually think I invented the atomic bomb after I ate week-old Taco Bell.
Nice.
Yeah, same.
He blew it
Pretty
up.
funny. Atomic bombs are hilarious. So funny. 5-star review. Utterly sublime that this is actually a real film that got made and exists. Lots of exclamation points.
It's got to be Barbie.
It's got to be Barbie. Sublime.
The sublime line.
Sublime!
That was such a hard laugh for me.
Because
like he walks behind the door and you're like, okay, he's gonna do his little scream. He's like, let me be cool about it, and then go around the corner and yell very obviously, and right. But then he says a word, and the word he says is sublime.
Like only Ken would say.
Yeah, sublime.
Sublime.
It was awesome.
So funny.
I thought that was so good.
5-star review. This was bomb.
Oppenheimer.
Yeah. Of course.
I'm on fire.
You're on fire, dude.
Nuclear.
1-star. Nuclear, yeah. Nuclear. Nuclear? Nuclear.
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 I get it wrong
not
every
even
time.
a
I'm
word.
like,
It literally isn't even a word.
I'm thinking of nucleus.
The nucleus.
1-star review. Yawn. Needed Family Guy or Slimes videos underneath so I could pay attention to this dog shit. White men are crazy, bro.
That is awesome. It's got to be Oppenheimer.
It is. Needed Family Guy or Slimes videos underneath.
Subway Surfer. Kinetic sand. That's hilarious.
Let's see. 5-star review. What if Tony Stark is an insecure little bitch?
Oppenheimer.
I liked that one. That was pretty clever.
That's good, yeah.
Pretty clever. Let's see. This one's obvious too, but 5-star review. Ryan Gosling can sing, but Taylor Swift can never pull a Blade Runner 2049 or Drive.
Or Nice Guys.
It's got to be Barbie, but I thought it was interesting to think of a Taylor Swift version of Blade Runner 2049.
Yeah,
like, that would be something else. I would probably go see that.
Probably not
totally
great.
Honest. Probably not great. She's fine though, I guess. Seems like an okay person.
Is she an actress though? I don't know.
She's in things sometimes. She's in Cats.
Okay, but does that really count?
1-star review. I have the feeling that we all agreed at one point, maybe in a dream, to pretend that this was a good idea for some kind of greater good. I just can't remember now what the greater good was.
Oppenheimer.
End quote. I gotcha this time. That was a Barbie review.
What?
Yeah.
What is the greater good of watching?
I thought we agreed, maybe in a dream, that this was for some kind of greater good, maybe for feminism. That a lot of the 1-star reviews were like, feminism, gross. So
yeah,
I didn't have much to choose from because most of them were just really dumb.
Those guys suck.
Like, I'm a boy and this sucked. I'm the guy who likes Zack Snyder's Justice League. 5-star review. I'm stressed. My head hurts and I have lots of thoughts right now, but this was one of the best cinematic experiences of my life.
Barbie.
No, Oppenheimer. I got you again. Yeah.
Dang nabbit.
All right. I don't know what to say. I'm just staring into the abyss. That's a 5-star review.
Oppie. It's gotta be Oppie.
Yeah. I was staring into the abyss for sure.
Dude, so was Killian. Like
oh
20
man, that
times.
reminds me. That reminds me when because I haven't had this experience of a packed theater in a long time, as we've said. But I forgot the part of the movie going experience where the movie's over and we all walk out together. And the things that people were saying after Oppenheimer it just made me really it just made me giggle. It was just like people were just like, yeah, that was really good. I haven't seen Christopher Nolan do much since the Dark Knight. I just I think he's a pretty good. Did he direct this? Did he direct Christopher Nolan direct this? Yeah, I think he did. Yeah, like stuff like that. Where it's like oh yeah, Robert Downey Jr. Yeah, Iron Man. Yeah, it's pretty. Yeah, stuff
pretty,
like
yeah.
that. This cracks me up.
They're trying so hard, you know.
They're trying really hard. Yeah.
Those poor people.
Yeah, it's a fun time for sure.
Yeah. My favorite thing
right.
about the movie theater now is immediately after the credits start rolling, I open my phone, tweet my Quarter Twins score, and then write a Letterboxd review. And we finish Oppenheimer.
Yes.
The two guys sitting next to me both pull out their phones and start writing reviews on Letterboxd.
Oh my gosh.
And I was like,
That's
hey,
awesome.
you too, man.
You follow me? Let's follow each other.
5 stars, right, huh?
5 stars, let's go.
Pretty crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It
so
was a good time.
for an update for everybody, I watched Silence of the Lambs the other day in an effort to determine whether or not Oppie could slip right into the top 10 immediately, and I actually will say that it did.
It did slid in there.
I gave Silence of the Lambs 4.5, and all of my top 10 movies are 5 stars. So Oppie slipped right in there. I had to downgrade Prisoner of Azkaban randomly. Gave that one 5 stars when I was reviewing all of the when I was reviewing all the Harry Potter movies. Higher than Half-Blood Prince.
Half-Blood. Yeah.
Which is far and away the best movie in the franchise.
It is. I don't think any of those movies are 5-star movies, to be
No, absolutely not.
No.
But I'd give Half-Blood Prince 4.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Order of the Phoenix. For
Sure.
me. Huge fan.
I think I give that one 3.
That's all right. It's fine.
I'm also thinking about shying away from the half stars.
Yeah.
I think it just muddies the water a little bit too much.
It depends. It's when I think about it in terms of like 10 out of 10, I'll give it
Right,
like
that
half star to
that's
do
true.
whatever.
That's true.
Yeah. That's why, and I usually 2.5 stars on Letterboxd is it's in the middle. It's like an average. So then I kind of judge from there. Like, is it worse than the middle or is it better than the middle?
Don't remember.
Is it better?
Also, you never tweeted your Barbie score, so I still don't know what you think.
The reason is I deleted Twitter and then I re-downloaded it because I was curious if this X thing had taken effect yet.
Yeah.
If I needed to update it or whatever, and it hadn't. But I don't have that login saved, so I couldn't log back in after those movies. I was like, oh, whoops.
I'll have to figure that out for you.
Yeah. I know our username. 25 PCT, 100%. Nope, 100 PCT.
There you go.
25% PCT, 100% PCT.
That's right.
So we witnessed the end of a show.
The next great Marvel installment, you guys.
Is it the 7th Marvel TV show?
I literally don't know.
I think it's
I could not tell you. Are you counting What If?
No. So,
Why
8.
didn't anybody count What If?
What If? I don't think most people liked it.
That's
I
lame.
think you're one of the few people who liked it. But
Nobody
yeah,
likes
Secret
anything
Invasion
these days.
has
Everybody hates everything.
Secret Invasion has come and gone, and the general reception is that was bad.
Yeah.
We liked, because I do feel like it started fairly strong. Like the first episode, what I remember of it was pretty okay, and like all the stuff with Ben Mendelsohn's character and Nick Fury and some of Nick Fury's conversations with Rhodey were good, and then and everything with the villain Gravik, a great villain name. It's just like, what are we doing?
Trash. Garbage.
Because the idea of a secret invasion story is like what they said it was is like the Skrulls are everywhere. You don't know who anybody is. They've like climbed the ranks of political power, and they're but really it's just like it's like a group of 50 guys just like in a warehouse, and they're just like sometimes they'll go outside and blow up a bomb, and that's it.
Yeah.
But like and
World
there's
War
a
III,
Skrull
baby.
like Rhodey is a Skrull apparently since 2016 in Civil War, which. Like, I've never cared about Rhodey as a character. I've always thought he's annoying and not interesting. But every interesting thing he's done since Civil War is apparently just nothing because he's a Skrull.
Mm-hmm. Except for that
Which is
one
fine.
time where he complained about Captain Marvel not being there for Earth.
Yeah,
Because that has stake in it because he's a Skrull.
I guess. I suppose.
Didn't think about that, did you?
I didn't think about
Didn't
that.
think about
at
that
all.
random interaction in that movie you couldn't remember existing. It's called Infinity War. One of your
Yeah.
favorites.
It's really good.
Actually,
I
that
should
was
watch
an
it
Endgame.
again.
No.
I should watch both of those.
Yeah.
Because
I'll
they're
watch
good.
'em
They're
with
pretty
you.
good. Okay.
Cool.
Um,
Just find 6 hours.
I think the show as a whole, like it's also just at a time in the cultural Hollywood landscape of like the whole AI intro thing,
Mhm.
and it's happening during a writer's strike, and the show is like just disgusting and written really badly. Well, it's not written that badly. So in
The
some
script
points.
is like one of the only good things.
Exactly, yeah. But it just feels gross for some reason. And it feels kind of gross because it's like, especially at the last episode, it becomes increasingly more clear that they're just like they don't care. They're not trying to do anything interesting
Mm-hmm.
with these characters. Like, okay, let's just talk about the last episode. So he at the penultimate episode, the fifth one, we find out that Nick Fury has
I don't even remember
Nick
the
Fury-
fifth episode.
we find out that Nick Fury has a little vial about
yes.
like 2 inches tall, filled with a little liquid that has the DNA of every single Avenger, every like superpowered villain that's been on Earth, or not even. He has the DNA of pretty much just every superpowered character we've ever seen in the MCU, just in this little vial. And that's
Chilling
what
in one of
Gravik
his many
wants.
graves.
Because he wants to pipe it into his blood and become a super boy.
Whoa.
And have all the powers of all the powerful peoples.
Mm-hmm.
And so in the last episode, Nick Fury waltzes in and is like, "Here you go, man. You can have it."
Why don't
And
you
he's like,
have that?
"Cool." And the list of characters, let me list them off here, that we see, there's more than this. The DNA of Ghost, which is
Mm-hmm.
the villain
the
from
cool
Ant-Man
villains.
and the Wasp that phases and whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Steve and Bucky, which are I don't know why they're listed together in this list.
Steve and Bucky.
Super soldiers. Steve and Bucky.
I thought, yeah, I was like, Steve and Bucky. Who is that?
Super soldier DNA. Corvus Glaive. If you could tell me who that is.
Oh my
who
gosh,
is that?
Corvus.
Corvus
Sounds like
Glaive.
a dude. Sounds like a guy in like the Daredevil movie.
He's the guy in Infinity War that shoves the scepter through the Vision. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, the skinny guy.
Yeah, the skinny guy.
Okay.
Corvus
didn't know those
Glaive.
guys had-
Thanos.
Thanos.
Thanos' DNA.
Right on.
Guys, what are we? The Outriders, which are the little running around.
The
aliens
guys on
in
the
Endgame.
motorcycles and from Tatooine.
Yes.
Cool.
Proxima Midnight, which is the evil girl. Captain Marvel, the most powerful being in the universe.
Yeah.
Abomination, Mantis, Cole Obsidian, which is the big boy in Infinity War. Drax, Korg, a rock man. We have his DNA.
Got it.
They got DNA out of rocks. Okay. Ebony Maw,
That's the
Frost
Squidward guy?
Beast,
Frost Beast.
Frost Beast, Hulk, the
Who's what is
Chitauri,
Frost Beast.
the Frost Beast from Thor, and Thor: The Dark World. At the end, they bring it to Earth, and it's like, rah. You haven't seen that movie in a while, I bet.
I don't remember a Frost Beast.
The Chitauri, the aliens from the first one. Valkyrie, who's been on Earth for only the Endgame finale.
Just an Asgardian.
Just Asgardian. Thor, he has the DNA of a literal god in this thing. Or
Oh.
I suppose a literal demigod, I suppose.
Uh-huh.
Gamora, Groot, and possibly more. So,
Possibly.
okay. So they use this thing, and Gravik gets the DNA of all these people, and so does Nick Fury. And Nick Fury like pulls out an actual, like, his arm turns into the Hulk's arm, and he punches Gravik, and then you're like, oh no, it's actually Emilia Clarke in there as Nick Fury. And so now Emilia Clarke
Has all
and
the
Gravik
powers.
are the most powerful beings in the entire universe. And then Emilia Clarke kills Gravik, and then it's just like, and Nick Fury just leaves the planet again. And the president is like, hey, Skrulls, we're coming to kill you. We're
Gonna kill you.
We know where you are. We know how to find you. We know you're here. We're going to kill you. And then it's like, oh, there's a war starting. And it's like, wow, I can't wait to see this war between the humans and the Skrulls. But it's over, and that's it. The show ends.
It's over.
The show's over. It's literally done. And that's it. So like,
what if this was the first half?
yeah, like I've said this with most of the MCU shows. The last episode is like, that's a really good mid-season finale.
Mm-hmm.
But then it's just over.
Right.
And we'll never see anything from it again, probably.
Yeah.
Because
Will we
that's
ever
what
see
we're doing, I
Gaia
guess.
again?
Nope.
Will we
I
ever
would literally-
see What's-Her-Face again from MI6?
No. I doubt it. Will we see Nick Fury's wife again? No.
No.
It's
But they
just,
can't.
and on top of that, it's just a really bad show.
It's just
really bad.
It's honestly so sad because you watch all these Marvel shows, and every single time they get your hopes up a little bit, because the first couple episodes you're like, okay, like there's something here, maybe. And then eventually they always fail just
They really
as a
do.
whole.
It's like they forget. It's not like they forget. It's like we talked about this last time, where it's like they're like, we're gonna give you guys the opportunity to make this really like gritty spy thriller, secret invasion, where you can mess with like shape shifting and like paranoia and not knowing who anybody is. So they start doing that. And then, like, halfway through making the show, they're like, hey, did we tell you only have 6 episodes and you have to wrap it up with, like, this thing called The Harvest that has the DNA of all of these, like all super-powered people that have ever existed, and, like, you have to put it into Nick Fury, and then you have to put it in Gravik, and it has to be a big CGI battle at the end? Did we tell you that? And they're like, oh,
Yeah.
we got to do that, I guess. So we'll put that in the last episode.
Yeah. It's sad.
Yeah.
Because, like, I want this to be a cool show where it's like a bunch of guys sitting and talking and try to convincing each other about the truth and what the truth is. And
like Oppenheimer, for
and
example.
they just can't help themselves but make a big dumb CGI fight instead. They're like, people
Right.
won't watch our show if it's bad, so let's make it bad. I don't get it.
Yeah.
It's the worst.
I don't get it. It is the
So
worst.
another
Let's-
Marvel show down the drain. How many shows have
Let's-
survived? How many shows are good? What do we have? We have Falcon and Winter Soldier is fun, but is it good?
In my
Loki is
opinion,
good.
Yes.
Miss Marvel is
Loki
perfect.
is really good. I disagree.
And then we have Moon Knight is
Pretty good.
5 out of 6.
Yep.
Good
5 out of 6 for sure.
And then everything else is like mid or bad.
Yeah.
And it's
Which
just,
is, you know,
well,
a lot of people liked WandaVision.
there are those people. And those
a lot
people,
of people like WandaVision. Yeah.
those people are Incorrect. Maybe.
And I do think Loki is the only show with a satisfying ending, because all the rest, like even I love Falcon and Winter Soldier is in my top 10 Marvel projects, but the last episode is like it kind of takes John Walker's character back a few steps, and like it does things really quickly, like it's rushed for sure because they have to fit in all the Flag Smasher stuff. It's not a satisfying conclusion.
Yeah, there's always one too many things.
Loki builds from episode 1, builds to the moment of meeting He Who Remains at the end. And they meet him at the end, and you get a lot of time with him before he dies.
And he's really good.
At the end, you're like, whoa, this is hardcore. And then, Jonathan Majors. So I was like, well, that's a bummer, but it's fine. It's fine. All right. Just go ahead and wrap us up.
All right, guys. This has
my
been
dog probably pooped in the
Barbenheimer.
living room.
We love movies, and we love people.
What's happening next, probably? I don't know.
Fast and Furious slideshow.
Oh.
We've been putting this off for a while, and I think it's about time that you hit us up with that. Otherwise we can talk about something else. But getting hyped for Blue Beetle. You guys.
Blue Beetle Battalion. Let's go, boys.
Blue Beetle Blazalion. What's Balthazar Balthazan or whatever? Blackagar Boltagon.
Blackagar Boltagon.
Yeah.
Great character.
We'll see you guys next week for episode 60 of the Quarter Twins podcast, the only Quarter Twins podcast with one question. Hey.
That's right, guys.
And we'll see you guys next week so much. See ya.
See you guys next week so much. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Mutant Mayhem comes out.
Yeah, we need to watch that. I'm actually excited for that. That looks good.
It looks really good. Gran Turismo. Not seen that.
No.
But the Meg 2, The Trench.
I'm not watching the Meg.
Oh, The Marvels, November 10th, if it doesn't get delayed.
Yes! Please! Please!
Right. I'm out. I'm outie.
All right.
See you guys. See you so much all the time.
See you so much.